Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's Monday, March 20th, 2017. It is the 79th day of the Gregorian calendar year. I want to give you a little history lesson on the men's college basketball tournament and the number 79. This is the 79th year of the tournament, and the number is highly relevant. Out of all of the advancing teams to the Sweet 16, only two won with a score of 79. And in my preview video for the tournament, I said why those two teams are a very real possibility for the championship. Those teams were Gonzaga and UCLA. So let's do a little history lesson going back to the beginning of the college men's basketball tournament, which was played in 1939 at the end of the 38-39 season. The championship was between the Oregon Webfoots, who are now the Oregon Ducks in Eugene, Oregon, and the Ohio State Buckeyes. And just the other year, college football had its first playoff championship format, and the championship was Oregon versus Ohio State. College football first, college basketball first. In 1939, Oregon won, defeating Ohio State. More recently in the football game, Ohio State won, defeating Oregon. Anyway, look at this. The winning score was Oregon over Ohio State by 46 to 33, a sum of 79 points. We're going to talk about why that score of 46 to 33 is so interesting besides just the sum of 79 points. We're also going to get to what's so interesting about 79. So Oregon, the winner, the 33rd state. We're going to learn what the number 33 has to do with the word champion. Ohio is one of two states using ordinal gematria that sums to 47. The other is Nevada. There's only one state that sums to 74, Oregon, the 33rd state. 33 and 74 are an important pairing in this gematria study. Think about 47 and 74, though, in regards to the United States of America, the nation that made basketball a popular sport. July 4th, the fourth day of the seventh month, or 7/4 as we write it in the U.S. These numbers are special to Freemasonry. The Freemasons have the compass and square logo. That compass, used to make circles in geometry, it's set at 47 degrees. 47 degrees. The reason why is because of the significance of that number. The Freemasons have something called Euclid's 47th problem about how to establish foundation. I just want to show you the gematria of the word foundation using English reduction. It sums to 47. The 47th problem of Euclid about how to establish foundation for a structure. In numerology, 4 represents foundation and 7 represents complete. So complete foundation, when you take the numerology meaning of 4 and 7, this word that's related to foundation, important to Freemasonry. The foundation of our life on this planet is the sun. And the word time has gematria of 47. Time was measured by the ancients before clocks using its position in the sky and knowing the solstices and knowledge about this world. In time, more than 2,000 years ago, the tropics were discovered, where in the northern hemisphere the summer solstice and winter solstice is marked, and in the southern hemisphere the same things are marked. In the northern hemisphere the first day of summer is around June 21st. In the southern hemisphere the first day of winter around December 21st. Those dates are measured by the tropics and where the sun is in position to those coordinates on Earth. The tropics are 47 degrees apart. Used to tell time, the word time 47, this number for foundation. 47, a very special number. Ohio, the only state 47 besides Nevada. The only state that is 74 is Oregon. And with regards to this nation, holiday 74, Independence Day, gotta spell it right. Spelling's crucial. Independence Day 74. In the United States where we speak English, 74. Just so you know, English, gotta spell right. English is 74. Gematria is 74, what we're doing, ancient practice, which is mostly a Jewish practice, and Freemasonic practice, Freemason history based in ancient Jewish history. You see? This is occult knowledge, meaning it's only known by the few, but it's right before our eyes and it's always been ever present. So anyway, just want to establish the significance of those numbers. We often see 74 and 33 paired together. Look at your periodic table. The 33rd element has an atomic mass of 74. I was going to show you this example with regards to the major spirituality in the United States, Christianity. Jesus equals 74. Cross equals 74. Think about the story of Jesus on the cross at 33. Only the 33rd state, Oregon, sums to 74. Messiah, 74. Gospel, 74, which is the story of Jesus. If you write out Jesus Christ in English reduction, sums to 74. All interrelated methods on the alphabetic order, forwards and backwards. If you missed my work on last year's tournament, the Jesuit order known as the Society of Jesus, I was talking about the significance of that with the championship game before it was played, and I was saying how the numbers 47 and 74 were heavy on the game, and at the end of the game it was a 74-74 tie with 4.7 seconds left. Christian has the Gematria 47, the reflection of 74. There's a lot of parallels between the name Jesus and the word time. I've covered this in past videos if you want to look them up. The Vatican, the home of the Catholic Church, the Society of Jesus, also this Gematria 47. And as I've been explaining for years, there's a lot of ties from Catholicism to basketball. So many of these college kids went to Jesuit high schools. So many of these colleges are Catholic. Jesuits such as Gonzaga, Villanova Catholic School. Anyway, 47, 74, 33, all very relevant to Christianity. And at the top, orchestrating all this, is the Freemasonic network. And as I've explained a million times, Freemasonry has their stamps all over the Bible as we know it in English. So anyway, the Oregon Ducks were called the Webfoots in the 39 season that they won. Before they changed their name to Ducks, Webfoots 33, 33rd state. They beat their opponent 46-33. It's interesting that they changed their name to Ducks. Duck, the singular, has this gematria of 39. And Oregon was established on a date with 93 numerology. If I'm not mistaken, it's the only state established on a date with 93 numerology. We were talking about Jesus and Cross, Oregon, the 33rd state. Crucifix 93, God's Son 93. They tell us the sun in the sky is 93 million miles away on average in science. Think about it. Also, the year this team won, it began in 38. Oregon also has the gematria of 38. Oregon, fitting team to win the first year. 46-33 was the score, difference of 13 points. The sum was 79. The word champion in gematria is 79. Again, this is the 79th year of the tournament. The word champion also has gematria of 137, which is the 33rd prime number. Webfoot's 33. 33, always a big number in championships, something we've always understood. Now that we are aware of this reverse ordinal gematria, we see how it's coded right into the word champion, something that I overlooked for 3 years of teaching this. So this was a major revelation to understand the reverse ordinal gematria. But again, the 33rd state, the Webfoots, won the first ever men's college basketball tournament. So this past weekend, 2 teams advanced to the Sweet 16 that had winning scores of 79, no other. And you're welcome to check this out. Just go to ESPN, run through the scores from March 18th and March 19th. Let's keep in mind that Gonzaga won on March 18th, the 77th day of the year. The word Christ equals 77. Last year, Villanova won with 77 points. Christ equals 77, and in the New Testament, the return of Christ is mentioned 318 times. Specific number to the Bible, March 18th, 3/18, the 77th day of the year. Last year, the Society of Jesus connection to Villanova, the Catholic school winning. Gonzaga, part of the Society of Jesus. Gonzaga is a Jesuit school. Jesuits are the Society of Jesus. UCLA. If you missed the preview video for the tournament, I'll link it. I talk about how UCLA connected to the Jesuit order through Gematria. And I don't know if there's greater connections. There likely is. But UCLA definitely has the Jesuit connections. UCLA won with 79. I said why UCLA Gonzaga would be a very fitting championship this year. They are the only two teams to advance to the Sweet 16 with 79 points. It's not a guarantee that they'll make it to the championship. If I remember right, Kansas won with 79 points last year and then lost by 44, a record amount to Villanova in the tournament, before Villanova won the championship on 4/4, April 4th. If you write out 44 as a word, if you write out April 4th as a word, if you write out Jesuit order, and sum all of those using the alphabetic order, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z is 26, they all sum to 144. Special number related to time as well. Think about the square root of 144 and 12 and time. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Anyway, this year the tournament was announced on the 71st day, the bracket seeding, March 12th, 71st day of the year, Catholic 71, Gonzaga 71, a Catholic school, Gonzaga Bulldogs 71, UCLA also has the 71 connection. UCLA also has other connections to the Catholic Church, as we covered in the preview video. For the record, March Madness equals 71. They changed the tournament name of March Madness in 1985. The word basketball using the alphabetic order is 85. Using the English reduction is 22. With the S exception, basketball's 31. Last year, Villanova won for the second time, 31 years after their 85 championship. We talk about those numbers a lot with basketball, 31 and 85. Last year's tournament was in Houston. Houston's 31. Whole bunch of things. So Gonzaga, as a team name, they also have a second connection to March Madness. And Gonzaga is one of these teams that there's always a lot of hype for. They're always a high seed for being a smaller division school. And typically, they disappoint. Typically, they break their fans' hearts. I live up here in Washington State, a lot of Gonzaga fans. This year, I've been saying, if they're ever going to win it, this year, really, a lot lines up for them. We have the Jesuit president. Last year, we had the Jesuit pope. Gonzaga's got a shot. And the team Gonzaga will play is West Virginia, who just advanced over the Catholic school Notre Dame. Look at what Notre Dame lost with, 71. And notice that in the first quarter, they scored 35. Remember, we've only had one Catholic president in the U.S., the 35th president, John F. Kennedy. You see? The date of this game upcoming against West Virginia, and again, people, I'm not watching the tournament. I haven't watched any games. Do some homework. Check out who the coach is of West Virginia. Is he some big Jesuit? Maybe I'm not seeing the upset. I'm not saying anything's a guarantee. I'm just documenting the ongoing patterns, and I'm saying just what I know. This is why I think what will happen, but do the homework. Take the knowledge I'm teaching you and apply it. I always link the calculator down below. You can do all this research. Check the names of the coach, the star player, the dates from their birthday to the games. The clues are normally there. Somebody who follows my work called the Duke loss perfectly before the game was even played. Somebody took my knowledge, used the work, and I think they won some money betting on South Carolina. I'll show you something about South Carolina in a second. But anyway, the date of this game between Gonzaga and the Mountaineers, date with 43 numerology. Society of Jesus in Gematria sums to 191. which is the 43rd prime number. Last year, Villanova won the championship 191 days after the Jesuit Pope left on the Jesuit Order's birthday, September 27, 2015. 191 is the 43rd prime. Villanova scored 43 points in the second half. Bulldogs have the Gematria 43. That's the name of Gonzaga. They're the Bulldogs, the Jesuit school. Champion 43. Their head coach is Mark Few. You know what would be cool to look up is what year Mark Few is in coaching Gonzaga. I don't know the answer to that question, but he's been doing it since I was in high school. He could be 20-some years. If Mark Few is in his 22nd year, I think they're definitely going to win the championship. I should have looked that up, but I'm going to save it for you. Just remember, if Mark Few is in year number 22, we'll talk about why. But that'd be a magic number, and it might be. Anyway, here it is, just to show you. Jesuit Order's birthday, Pope Francis, the first Jesuit Pope, left the country from Philadelphia, the original capital. April 4th, Gonzaga won the championship 191 days later. 191, the 43rd prime. Notice 191's a reshuffling of 119, that very special number. Vatican, where the Pope resides, has that 119 connection. Like All-Seeing Eye. Like Star of David. Is CBS doing the championship with the All-Seeing Eye logo? Like Master Plan? 119, special number. Also related to Foundation and so many other things. Here was the championship score last year, 74-74 tie with 4.7 left, which they readjusted the clock to. Check out my video from last year. I documented all this. I showed the video footage and everything. Villanova got their 35th win, the Catholic school. Catholic 35, JFK only 35th president. North Carolina went down with their 33rd win. Going back to the first championship, it was the team from Eugene, the Oregon Webfoots, that beat the Buckeyes. They both have 44 connections. When you take the numbers that divide into 44, they sum to 84, which is the same number for the Jesuit order. In case it's always been Jesuits and tributes too. Very possible. Remember, United States of America equals 84, and in the book 1984, it said all it took to rule over the people was beer, gambling, and football, or sports, you know. So with regards to 79 being the magic number, 79 is the 22nd prime. Basketball has Gematria of 22. I couldn't tell you a name of a player on these teams that I'm even talking about right now, but if anyone's wearing 22, I would measure from their birthday to the date of the game. There might be some major clues last year. Last year, the whole tournament was scripted truly through the point guard of Villanova. It was amazing. Go back and check out my work. Point guard of Villanova played in his record 144th straight game. Again, the game was a big tribute to the Jesuit order. That college player set an NCAA record with 144. Notice the reverse ordinal of 153. Holy Bible equals 153. The Catholic Church has crafted the Bible as we know it. Doesn't matter what version you have for the most part. 153 fish in the miraculous catch. The Bible is all Gematria. The Bible was written with Gematria in mind. Gematria is the code to know. But hold on, what was I saying there? Jesuit order. That's right. The point guard's 144th straight game on April 4th. 144. Interesting, it also has the 153. And it was after the record 44-point blowout. Have you ever noticed how we spell 44? It doesn't make any sense. There should be a U there, right? Logically, there should be a U, but that's not how you spell 40. There's no U in 40, which never made sense to me as a child. And nobody could explain to me why. Well, guess what? You learn Gematria, you find out the answer why. This number is so important, 144 in history. And it was so symbolic in last year's championship. And again, let's just appreciate this. United States of America, 84. Jesuit, 84. Think about Christopher Columbus, paid for by the Catholic Church in our U.S. history classes. The CC. He came over here and called the people Indians. C's the third letter, the CC, the 33. Christopher Columbus, paid for by the Catholic Church, who we say discovered the Americas, where he named the people who were already there. Indian. Notice America's 147. It's not any secret who settled the Americas. It's the Freemasons, the same people who've poisoned the word conspiracy and made people scared of it because they're ruling the world with conspiracy. Did you know there's 147 windows on the White House? For any of you college students out there, realize, I do all this work for free because I want people to have knowledge, and they shouldn't have to pay for it. Not at this day and age, not when we have this technology and ability to share instantly, information to change the world, to wake people up. For all you college students, think about how much you're paying right now to be stressed out and learn a bunch of stuff you're not going to remember in 6 months because you buried all that knowledge with the latest thing you had to keep up with. It's how they all keep us on the slave system. So if you follow my blog, before the tournament was set, I said I expect, one of the predictions I had for the tournament this year was that there would be some big tribute from the Carolinas with Donald Trump, because Donald Trump won huge in the primaries in the Carolinas. There's been a lot of ongoing narratives with Donald Trump, the Carolinas. Donald Trump's a Jesuit like the Pope. We know the men's college basketball tournament gives Jesuit tributes. Fitting to give one to the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, the Jesuit. And I just want to show you guys something real quick here for more of that free knowledge. Notice the Gematria 47 in the name Trump. The word president equals 47, like the word authority. So does White House. So does government. There's 2 other forms of Gematria that other Gematria teachers teach. Chaldean and septenary. And if you type Washington, D.C. and these methods, they both sum to 47 in those methods. And I don't think that's any coincidence. This Gematria system, it's very cleverly thought out. There's a whole lot more to it than what I've discovered in the going on 4 years I've been doing this. But remember, 47, the number of degrees that the Freemason compass and square is set at. 47 measures time. The streets of Washington, D.C., they have that same 47-degree angle. There's the overlays of Washington, D.C., showing how the streets form the Freemason compass and square, with the 47 degrees pointing right at the White House, where the president resides, Did you catch that White House was 47 in that Chaldean as well down here? And with regards to the 137, remember Washington, D.C., which also has this coding like authority. The Freemason compass and square, it has the 47 degrees in the compass, and it has the right angle square at the bottom, which is 90 more degrees. 47 plus 90 is 137, right? 137 is the 33rd prime number, and Washington, D.C., is the federal government headquarters. Federal with that 33 Gematria, And the big G in Francis Bacon Gematria also represents 33. Lowercase a through lowercase z's 1 through 26, uppercase z a through uppercase z's 27 through 52, big G 33. 137 degrees around the big G 33. 137, the 33rd prime. If you don't know the Freemason compass and square, just type that in, look it up. What's interesting is compass and square has Gematria of 93. And again, they tell us the sun is 93 million miles away. It's all about measuring time, the tropics. Got to bring it full circle since we're talking about basketball, right? If you missed my work from 2015, I predicted that Duke would win the college basketball championship based on what was being coded into the German Wings plane crash bogus news story. Remember Andreas Lubitz shown in front of the Golden Gate Bridge, the suicidal pilot, the story that went on for months? Do you remember that? Everything coded into that story was syncing up with the Duke Blue Devils. It was right at the time the tournament was beginning. And there was something in the reporting about where the plane crashed, there being people knowing there as Blue Devils, and I thought, oh, really? Is there? Well, if you go back and watch my work from 2015, I was talking about the number 81. 81. And I noticed Duke went down with 81 to South Carolina, who won with 88, which is our big Trump number all year. We've seen so much 88 and 47 with Trump. You know what, True Seeker? I never noticed that before about Trump with Francis Bacon, the 114. Small tangent. Trump card has ordinal gematria of 114. This is coming during the time of the show House of Cards. But I already knew that President of the United States had that gematria of 114. So does Trump and Francis Bacon. You know? Again, this gematria system, it is brilliant, it is genius, it is very well thought out. The people who build the system, they probably have a calculator, something like what we now have. And, just think about it. You can just go through and experiment and put things together and make things work out. And if you have computers to do it for you, all the more efficient. But anyway, 88, our big Trump number. South Carolina, the big surprise of the tournament. Biggest upset, number 7 over number 2. A lot of people thought Duke could win the championship this year. South Carolina, where Trump had his biggest win in the primaries. See my work on Trump in South Carolina. Now they get the 88-point tournament win. This is what we've been talking about. The tournament's going to have tributes to Trump. It doesn't mean they're going to win the championship, but before this game was played, somebody predicted that they would beat Duke. They showed all the perfect alignment for the game. And also, in South Carolina's win before Duke, this person commented about the ritual that they saw in play. They noticed that South Carolina won with 93, the magic number. And it was Frank Martin's 93rd win as South Carolina's head coach in the tournament. 93rd win with 93 points, this very powerful number that represents Saturn, the keeper of time to the occult. Saturn equals 93. The sum of the magic square of Saturn is 45. Trump's the 45th president. So anyway, South Carolina, Donald Trump, rituals by the numbers. It doesn't mean they'll win the championship, but this is why the upsets, this is why the scores. That's what's to take away. And real quick, we can close out by looking at the upcoming matchups. Wisconsin, Florida. Haven't done enough research there. We know that Trump likes to spend a lot of time in Mar-a-Lago. Wisconsin was the state where when they declared it for Trump, they said he was the winner, President of the United States. Wisconsin had the big upset over Villanova. Haven't done enough research there, but, if it's for Trump, I could see maybe Wisconsin being more the narrative there, since Wisconsin was the state that was declared for Trump. They knocked off the Catholic school who won last year. By the way, Villanova now has 58 tournament wins total, and they got knocked off on a date with 58 numerology. Very special number to Freemasonry. Virginia and Florida. Yeah. I'll let you do the math on that one. Again, I haven't been watching. I haven't done the full research. Baylor and South Carolina. Again, haven't done the homework, but South Carolina seems like it has a hot hand. Won't be surprised if they win there. Gonzaga should win over West Virginia. And I explained in the preview video why Gonzaga versus Arizona made so much sense. So I think that's happening. In the preview video, I said why I thought North Carolina and UCLA would definitely meet. I still think that's happening. North Carolina has to defeat Butler. UCLA has to defeat Kentucky. I think that is likely. Even before the bracket was set, I looked at the championship date, and I said pencil in North Carolina and UCLA this year as strong possibilities for an April 3rd championship. Well, they got put in the same bracket. So either of those teams, they could be there. But I think more lines up for UCLA this year than North Carolina. I could be wrong. Again, I haven't done enough homework. Just sharing what I know. You guys can take the knowledge, again, measure from the dates, decode the coaches' names, the star players, the team names. Use the calculator. It's easy. Michigan, they had that bizarre plane crash story. They had 83 and 38 coded on it, and it's interesting that they're playing Oregon, which has the 38 Gematria. Do the math. Kansas and Purdue, one of my blog followers, he really thinks Kansas is going to win the championship. We'll see what's going to happen. Again, you guys, I just haven't done enough homework, but I do know about the overall Catholic Jesuit themes over the years, and those are strong with Gonzaga and UCLA this year. So I think we covered it all. I'll link these posts down below. Hold on, maybe I can find one more thing to share with you here that was interesting. This man right here, Roan White Bear. Jeremy White brought this to my attention. Jeremy White doing the Gematria blog with sports. Check out Jeremy White, his blog. I'll link it down below. This guy is dedicating all of his time to decoding sports and the scripting within. What he caught was this. He wrote, Duke goes down today. Frank Martin equals 125, the coach who got the special 93-point tribute for South Carolina. He comes into today with 125 losses. Date numerology of 32. Gamecocks equal 32, their team name. When they win, they will play on 3/23/2017, which has a date numerology of 37. That means the number 3 seed, Baylor, plays the number 7 seed, South Carolina, in the Sweet 16. 93-73 was the score of the game versus Marquette. After Martin beats Duke, his record with South Carolina will be 93-73. So this is how it is, Truth Seeker. I mean, this is really how these sports are scripted. This is what I've been explaining for years. More people are catching on. They're applying the knowledge. And this guy saw it perfectly for those games. You know, very good work there. So learn the Gematria, Truth Seeker. All the tools are linked below. I'll link ESPN's site so you can check the box scores. Gonzaga, the only team that won was 79 on March 18th. Notice Butler won with 74. This is the date with the Jesus connections. That's interesting. Wait a minute. Who's Butler play again? Let's double check that. We know it's not Gonzaga. Butler is playing... They're playing on the other side of the bracket. Just want to see what team they got. Butler's playing North Carolina. Huh. Well, we'll see what happens there. I expect North Carolina to play UCLA. Interesting that Butler got 74 on March 18th, the dates with the connection to Jesus Christ as we were talking about. Perhaps that means they're to be martyred in the next game, you know. The word Christianity has Gematria of 65 and 74. I could go on about this score. Sum of 139 points, big number in Freemasonry. Yeah, these games are scripted, Truth Seeker. I know people can't believe it, but they are. There's a way they're doing it. No, I don't have all the answers, but no doubt they're scripting these games. You look over the years what the final scores are. I mean, going all the way back to the Oregon game in 1939. That's what I mean. All this time they've been doing this. You look at the evidence, you decode, you take the time to decode the year, the championship, you see, wow, it just all lined up perfectly by the numbers. Year after year. So, all right, it's all linked below, Truth Seeker. Until next time.